Good morning again, everyone. This is the first time that I've been to the cool church. And it is really a cool place. I'm here to talk about encouragement, but when I was walking around and looking at the walls and out in the vestibule, it's like, these folks don't need to hear anything from me about encouragement. They've got encouragement everywhere. I really, really do love the signs and the themes. That's some powerful stuff. So thank you for that. That makes my day. Hey, I got a question, though, for you. Have you ever had somebody in your life just say something? Maybe a sentence, maybe a phrase, maybe it was a coach, a teacher, a parent. Somebody just said some little thing to you, and it just changed your life. Just changed the way that you could see things all of a sudden. Like the clouds moved, and all of a sudden, the sun appeared. Have you ever had that happen? Like maybe a parent told you something, or a teacher, or a coach, something that really made that big of a difference in your life? Raise your hand. That's happened to you before? Yeah. It's happened to probably most of us, but wouldn't it be really cool if you were the one that was doing that for someone else? That you were the one that was offering that kind of encouragement to someone else to make them feel like you felt. Someone that gave you more courage and just moved the clouds away so all of a sudden you could see that much clearer. Wouldn't it be cool if you could be that person like somebody has been for you? See, I think we all need to be encouraged, and I think we all have the ability to encourage others. And I think that it's a lifelong thing. You know, I've got a mother who's 96 years old, okay? And she's still in great health. She lives by herself, dresses herself. She's does all that kind of stuff. And she's just a great example of how you should live. Well, coming up, I've got to go take her to have a mammogram, okay? Now, my mom's 96 years old. To have a mammogram, she don't have no more chest than me, but to have a mammogram. But, what I've learned along the ways is that Mom has taken care of her health always. She didn't say like, oh, I'm going to get to be this age and then I'm going to stop doing those things that are important. She didn't say, oh, well, now that I'm 90, I guess I don't have to do anything anymore. I don't have to, take care of my health. I don't have to encourage others. And encouragement to me is one of those things like health. And I learned it from my mom that, it's like more of a journey instead of a destination. We're going to be doing this stuff forever, all of your life, until you check out. You're going to be hopefully being encouraged by others and being encouragement. It's going to be like one of those natural laws that just needs to always go along. And, this whole thing about encouragement, it's important to me because I'm not telling you this just because I'm a storyteller and because I do speaking, but encouragement has made a big, big, big difference in my life. I wouldn't be here doing what I do if it hadn't been for somebody encouraging me. And I want to make sure that you get the message so that you realize how important it is for you to encourage others and just know how that can be a ministry, something that we can all do. We can all encourage others. And when you do that, you become somebody else's light. It's like you bring them out of the darkness and help them see. And the other trick is that when you encourage other people and make them feel good, it does really wonders for you. It makes you really feel good and feel important too. So it's kind of, it's a no-win thing. I mean, everybody wins if you just buy into this idea that encouragement is important for the encourager as well as the one that receives it. Now, I don't like to read a lot of notes, but I got to read this to you because, one, because my memory's just not that good anymore, and two, because it's just kind of profound. But, it's not just Christianity and New Thought who get into this encouragement thing. All the religions of the world, darn it, all of them have something to say about the importance of encouraging others and having empathy for others and how that makes a difference. In Judaism, they say that loving kindness can save a life. In Islam, they teach that a kind word is even better than charity. Buddhism has something that they call right speech. That's words that bring peace. In Hinduism, they say they have dharma, and they say that we all have a sacred duty to uplift others. Even in Confucianism, they talk about moral strength, and moral strength comes from helping other people. Taoism, they say that everything begins with a single step, and your encouragement to somebody else can be that one single step that takes them on their journey. Even humanism, that has nothing to do with divinity or spirituality, even those people say that they celebrate the idea of having empathy for other people and encouraging other people. It's in all religions. It's in all ancient wisdom. So if you think that maybe you can't encourage other people or it's not your thing, any and everybody can do it. And it doesn't even take a lot. You know, you can encourage somebody with just a smile. It doesn't have to be a long phrase. As long as it's real and it's something that you mean and you feel, then that's going to be cool, and that's going to be encouraging. And encouragement is such a big deal. Well, let me tell you this first, okay? Whenever you hear me talk about God or speak about God, what I mean when I say God is maybe different than some folks. Not different than probably you guys, because I read up on you guys, so I know what you think. But when I say God, it's not that being way outside, you know, out here somewhere. It's not so old guy with a beard and a clipboard taking notes. That's not what I mean when I say God. You know, when I say God, it's sort of like life and energy and love. It's spirit. It's something that's in all of us. It's in animals. It's in plants. It's in everything, everywhere. So I'm not talking about something out here. I'm talking about something that's a part of each one of us. And when we recognize that we each have that spirit, that light inside of us, you know, that can be really inspiring. And it's even better when you realize that other people have it inside of them. You know, if you want to hate somebody or go at war with somebody, all you have to do is not realize that they have God, the spirit inside of them. But as long as you realize that, oops, they got spirit inside of them, oops, they got God inside of them, it's kind of hard to fight those kind of people, and each of us have that. You know, even animals have it. Even the animals. If you watch elephants will take their trunks and they'll wrap them around and they'll nuzzle up against each other and rub up against each other to provide comfort to the fellow elephants. Even wolves, when wolves come back from hunting on a pack, the other wolves will be there howling and celebrating and glad that they made it back. You know, if you got a dog, I don't know about cats because I'm not big on cats, but if you got a dog, I mean, anybody got a dog in here? Now, your dog, he jumps up on top of you when you come home, so happy to see you always, no matter what, right? That's the kind of unconditional love, no matter what. Dogs can even sense when you're having a bad day, and they come nuzzle up to you, and they want to lick on you and all that. That's because they recognize that spirit inside. It even happens with, well, my favorite is birds, you know? When you see birds, like in the fall, when you see birds flying in that formation, that V formation, you know, what really happens is that one bird gets out front, and because of how they flap their wings, it creates an air draft for all the ones behind them. So it makes it easier for the guys in the back to fly. That's why they're in that V formation. And then what they do is they switch the leader, and he moves around to the back every so often so that everybody gets a turn and nobody gets tired. And then when you hear them making all that noise, honk, 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 well, what I think they're doing anyway is they're saying, come on, guys, let's go. We can make it. Hurry. They're encouraging that leader to keep on going. You know, it's because encouragement works, even with birds. And if one of those birds gets injured, you know what they do? Two of them will escort that bird down to the ground, and two of them will stay with that bird until it either passes away or it's able to fly away. It's that kind of encouragement that even animals know about. Primates, chimpanzees, gorillas, you see them. They hug each other. They pat each other's heads. They groom each other. They encourage each other. There is power in encouragement. To me, encouragement is sort of like, it's like a force. You know, like gravity is a force, and how a force can move things. Well, encouragement can move things. It can move people. I believe that anything that we want to do, probably within the realms of physics, okay, I think that we can do. Now, physics may say you can't jump off the building and fly. I'm not going to go that far. But I think most of our dreams we can make come true. But what stops us is, fear. We get scared that it won't work out, something's going to stop us, block us, or whatever. And the one thing that gets you over fear is acting with courage. It doesn't necessarily eliminate the fear, but when you have courage, you act anyway. And when people are discouraged and they don't have that courage and they have that hesitation, what they need is someone to come in and fill up that bucket. Give them some courage. And you do that by encouraging people. That's what encouragement's about. When we encourage each other and let that force get loose, we let other people have their dreams and do those things that they were fearful of doing and didn't think that they could do. Just because we said, you matter. I believe in you. I think you can get this done. I got a nephew who lives out in North Carolina, and he's on this Ancestry.com stuff or whatever. And somehow or another, he found my 1971 yearbook. And he's looking at all the pictures, and I guess now he's believing the stories that I used to always tell him about being an athlete and doing all the things I did in school. And I'm going back looking at all these pictures, and I see me in ROTC and in the drum and bugle corps, and I'm in the band, and I'm wrestling, and I'm on the football team even. And I had number 52 on in football, okay? And any of you guys or women that know about 52, that would mean like I'd be a linebacker. No way. They just had the numbers mixed up. That could not have been me, But I'm looking at all these black and white pictures, which tells you my age. And there's a little dark spot that's always the smallest guy in the pictures, and that's me. See, when I was in high school, when I was a sophomore in high school, believe it or not, I stood 4'10.5" tall. And I weighed 81.5 pounds. So I was what they'd call a runt. I was a little bitty guy, okay? But my dad would always have me get out there and play sports and do stuff and be active. And when I was a sophomore, I played on the football team. That's why I was in the pictures with my little football jersey on and stuff. Now, I wasn't a superstar, but I was on the JV team. And after football season, the JV coach was the basketball coach, and I made the basketball team. My little 4'10" self, I made the basketball team. But the coach, he had let me play football probably because my dad was on the sideline saying, put the kid in, coach, put the kid in. But he told me, and basketball came around, you made the team, but I'm not going to let you play. You're not going to see much time because you're just too small. Now, that wasn't encouragement. That was discouragement. I went back and told my dad about it, and he suggested that maybe I go out for wrestling, because instead of beating up on my brothers and sisters, I could wrestle somebody my own size. Well, at 81 pounds, I was still smaller than the smallest guys out there. And I had a coach, Coach Engstrom. And I remember we'd be getting ready to start the match, and I'd be the first guy in wrestling, and I'd be standing there, and he'd have his arm around my shoulders, and he'd be giving me those final words of encouragement. And he would always tell me, you belong here. You can do this. You can handle this. Now, I'll be real honest with you. That did not make me a winner. I didn't go out and win just because he said those words. Matter of fact, my first year, I lost every match. Every match. That meant every morning on the announcements they would say, yeah, Michael Brundy lost again. Yeah, every match. The teammates would say that we were giving points to the other team ahead of time because my match was automatically going to be lost. I lost every match. I was so bad that my family quit coming to see me. You hear me? But because of his encouragement the second year, I was 15-50. I lost as many as I won. I did good. And my third year, because of that encouragement, I made it to state, and I won. That's the power of encouragement. Everything I've ever done in my life, everything that I was successful at, when I look back on it, I find out that it was because somebody encouraged me. When I first started speaking, it was because somebody encouraged me. Somebody saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. I had went to this Les Brown workshop to learn how to be a motivational speaker. And they had all of us sitting around a table giving our little speeches in a competition, and I was the worst one out of my table. And I went back to my room and cried like a baby. And this young lady who saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself, she came and told me, you know, all those other people, they're teachers, they're preachers, they speak all the time. Go back home, join Toastmasters, put in the time, put in the effort, and you can speak. And she was right. You know, that encouragement made a big difference in my life. And it's happened not just when I was young, but even as I've gotten older, encouragement has always made a difference. I turned 50. Some of you probably wonder if I'm 50 already, but I turned 50 and my nephew asked me to go run a marathon with him. And he's 25, okay? And a marathon is 26.2 miles. That's a long, long way. And it's even longer when you're 50 versus when you're 25. It's a long way. Well, you train for like about 4 months, okay? And when you train for a marathon, you can make sure that you can run up to maybe 20, maybe even 22 miles. And people would always wonder, well, why don't you train so that you can go the full 26 miles? But that's not how it works. You go up to about 20, 22 miles, then you rest for a week or two, and then you have the race. The reason that you don't train up to 26 miles is because your adrenaline will get you through the rest of that race. So you don't need to wear yourself down and do the whole 26 miles. But the other problem with that is that because you haven't ran past 20 or 22 miles, when you run the marathon, when you get to that point, bam, you hit that wall. And that wall is painful, okay? That wall shocks some people. It stops some people, okay? And that's a lot where a lot of people decide, well, I can't go no further. I'm through with this one. And I'm out here running with my nephew. This is 25-year-old young self. And I'm 50, and this is killing me. And I'm about mile 22, and I'm just chugging along, wondering if I can make these last 4 miles. And this little bitty lady, little pregnant lady, you hear me? Pulls up alongside me and says, come on, bro, we're going to make this, ain't we? I say, what? And she ran another mile or so with me and talking to me all the way. And I was encouraged. You know, I was gonna finish that race. If for no other reason, her encouragement showed me that I could do it. You know, she moved away those clouds so I can now see the light. I can see that I could do it. And I'll be darned if the pregnant girl is gonna make it, I'm gonna make it too. You know? And I did it. But everything I've ever done has been as a result of being encouraged by somebody else. That's how it works. You know, a lot of people don't want to believe it, but we're kind of like all connected together, whether we like it or not, and we find it out all the time. I mean, you find it out through politics, you find it out through economics. It doesn't matter where you look. We're always connected. And spiritually, we're connected because we all have that life, that love, that spirit inside of us. And you can see it because when you look in somebody else's eyes, you can see how they sparkle. And that tells you that, there's something there. There's a light there. And you can help bring that out. And your light connects with my light. And I think that just makes the world a much better place. So I want you to remember a couple of things about encouragement, okay? First thing, realize that encouragement works. It really does work. When you encourage people, when you have empathy for other people, when you tell them that, yes, you can make it, yes, I see you, I believe in you, that can move mountains. It can really make a difference. Your words and how you use your words. Jesus said that, you know, there's power in our words. The life and death is in your tongue, what you say. So the power of life and death is based on what you say. So if you speak negative, well, you know, you're going to get that. You speak positive, well, you're going to get some positive. It makes a difference what you say and what you say to other people. I think even if it's with your children, if it's on the job, or wherever it's at, I think it's important that we encourage each other. I think that second, that you should look at it as a ministry. You know, a calling, something that you do, something that you're good at. And everybody can be good at encouraging other people. It don't take nothing to smile at somebody, to grin at somebody, to pat them on the back, or to say, you know, good job or whatever. I mean, I think that if you want to really live a good life, and it's taken me a long time to figure out just some of it, how to live a good life, but one thing that I've learned is that if you really want to live a good life, look for the good. Look for the good. Because if you're looking for bad stuff, you will find bad stuff, and there's plenty of bad stuff to find. But the opposite is true, too. If you look for the good, you'll see the good. And it's all around you. Mr. Rogers used to tell a story about his mom would say when there was a car accident, look for the helpers. Don't look at the accident. Look for the helpers, the people that are encouraging things, the people that are bringing life to the world. Look for those people, and we all have that. I think when you start looking for the good in people, as if, like your life depended on it, that's your ministry, that's what you do, you will see things change. I've got a friend who all she does is once a week she sends out a card to just somebody. Just any old somebody, just sends a card of encouragement. Now, at the dollar store, you can get cards now for like 50 cents. And if you got those forever stamps, you can still send them cheap. But she just mails a card, just any old body. And she said, it's amazing how many times that card hits the right person at the right time, just when they needed some encouragement. Now, it doesn't always happen, but just enough to know that, we're making the world a little bit better, moving things forward just a little bit better. And I think we can all do that if we look at encouragement as a ministry. Look for the light, the good in someone else, and then praise it. Praise it. Some of this spiritual stuff is really just logical. It just makes good sense. If you look for good in people, then you're less likely to see the bad. And everybody likes it when you say something nice about them. If you want to be a better parent, if you want to be a better boss on the job, or any of that, you don't criticize the bad things they do. You praise the good things they do. It even works for kids. Now, I know when you're in the midst of that, it's kind of hard to see the picture when you're in the frame. But when you look on the outside, and we all know that it's better if we're going to raise kids, if we're going to manage people, that we do it by being positive. It takes a while to learn that one because our nature seems to be to say no and spank and hit and say, oh, you're bad. But the reality is, if God is everywhere and Spirit's in each of us and love is that power, then, it's like, this is not rocket science. It really does work. So I say, be intentional about looking for and being encouraging. Be intentional about it. Not just happen to do it every now and then. No, be intentional about it. Make some kind of spiritual practice like my friend where you send a card, send an email, do something to force yourself to be encouraging. And it'll be just like doing on direct deposit. After a while, you don't even notice. It's just changed your life and everything is cool. But that's what the power of encouragement. Imagine if we all took up that mantle and said, we're going to try to be more encouraging. And if all of us did it, then we wouldn't have to even do a lot. If all of us did it, you could do a little, you could do a little, you could do a little, and we would change the world just by looking for the good. Now, I know that's hard, and sometimes, depending on your political persuasion or what's going on with you personally and all that, it can be really difficult to say, oh, there's some good stuff going on. But you know what? I had the worst day of my life in a long, long time this past Monday. I woke up and everything was going great. Everything, I got up and I meditated, I wrote in my journal, I did all the right things. I exercised, I ate, and by 9:30 in the morning, I was on a good roll, and it was a great day. And sometimes you can get one word, and just like you can get one word or one sentence of encouragement, you can get one word that can change your day. And that day, one of my best friends, just like a brother, he didn't wake up. He was at another friend's funeral, playing golf with the fellas on Friday, at the funeral on Saturday, and on Sunday, he just didn't wake up. He wasn't sick. We didn't know about anything going on. He just didn't wake up. And all of us have been so heartbroken all week long. On the internet, going back and forth, sending pictures, just all of this. And we're about to get to Atlanta, and we're going to all get together. It's going to be a heck of a party, and then we're going to have the funeral and all of that. But in the midst of all of that hurt, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. I love health, and my goal is to be healthy, 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 dead. I don't want to be and then dead, okay? And most of us forget that all of us are mortal. All of us will die. And we kind of figure out, well, not my dad, not my friends, not the folks I know. No, them other folks. So we're so shocked and so surprised. But my friend just went to sleep. And he woke up somewhere else. And I couldn't think of a better way for someone to make a transition. I can't think of a better thing to happen than him not have to watch me pass and feel what I feel, and instead realize that he got away from that. It's just a different way of looking at things. Granted, I don't like the idea that he's gone, but I'm just saying that we have spiritual tools in our toolbox that we can use, and one of those things is how we see things, the words that we use, the things that we tell ourselves, and how we encourage each other and how we encourage ourselves. That is powerful. It makes a difference. We can each be the light. So I encourage you to be the light for someone else. Offer some encouragement. See the good. It's not that hard of a thing to do. And with a lot of practice, it gets easier and easier and easier. So I want you to do something with me real quick, okay? So bear with me. Just shut your eyes, close your eyes, close your eyes, okay? Now, I want you to, with your eyes closed, think real deeply about somebody that really encouraged you, somebody that really made a difference in your life. It could have been recently, a long time ago, but they said something, did something, and it changed your whole outlook. Just think about that person. And then think about how much it meant when they did that, and how powerful that change was, and how much of a treasure that was for your life, and how grateful you are for that person, for what that person did to you, for the way that person moved away the clouds, moved away the veil so that you could see it differently. And give that person, that spirit, all of that love and that gratefulness. And then think a little bit further and think about what it would be like for you to be that for someone else. Just let that marinate. How good it would feel for you to be that, like somebody was for you, for somebody else. And there's somebody out there right now who will need and appreciate your encouragement. Now repeat after me. I am an encourager. I am an encourager. Now, my words matter. My words matter. I can make a difference in the lives of others. There you go. Now you can open up your eyes. Now, if you like the way that feels, do it often. Remind yourself, you got that kind of power. You can do that. You can make a difference in the world. Make sense? Let me leave you the same way that I started. I believe in you, and I believe that people matter. I believe that you matter. I believe that we all matter. I believe that we can make a difference in each other's lives. The words that we use make a difference. And if we make sure that they're positive, we tell people that you matter. I see you. You make a difference. It knocks down all the walls, all the barriers, all the things that separate us. Because in reality, we're not separate. There's only one life, one love, and we're all a part of that. We just express it in different ways. And the more we remember it and the more we act on it, not only the better our life will be, the better the others' lives will be. And if you want to make the world a better place, I think that you start right here with yourself, with your own people, your own friends. And I think that's the way we should do it. And, hey, I love to speak, and I will wear out a sympathetic ear, okay? I will wear it out, but I also know something about the importance of time, and I appreciate you guys listening to me, and that's my story. I'm sticking with it. Now, we shouldn't just end. We should probably end like with a little bit of a prayer, you guys think? So if you don't mind closing your eyes just a little bit for again, we'll do a quick prayer, okay? So with closed eyes and open hearts, I affirm that it's a good day. Everything in the world is good, and we have a choice of how we see things, and we can see the good. We can see the good and praise it. We can see the good in others and encourage them. We can realize that encouragement is a force. It's a force for good. It's a force for good that we can use. Each of us can use it to make the world a better place. God works through people, through each of us. And each of us can make the commitment to help God along and make it a smoother journey for someone else. I say make encouragement your ministry. May we each shine our light on someone else, bringing someone out of the darkness, letting the God in us shine. And so it is. Amen.